What? Oh, okay, we're dead. Hey internet, it's Jessica and welcome back to Chess of Blade. So we're gonna continue where we left off and we were attacked by some hooded man in the gardens. And it's pretty clear that Sabre's working with the disciples of Ignatius, but for some reason, Rivian is a little bit dense and doesn't make the connection that, you know, Sabre did something. So, let's see if he figures it out now. After the castle door slammed shut behind Sabre, I mustered the strength to drag myself up the stairs and back to my room. Along the way, I keep my eyes open for anyone else who looks like they want to make skewered Rivian for a midnight snack, but everything seems quiet. I make sure to lock the door to my chambers tightly before stripping off my clothes and diving into the warm, welcoming embrace of my bed. I'm still so pent up with the tension, though, that it's next to impossible to just fall asleep. Thoughts of Sabre, the assassin, the two relationships are spinning around in my head. I just wish I could figure out what it all means. But at the same time, I'm a little afraid to learn the truth. If Sabre's involvement is somehow shady business, maybe it's almost better if I didn't know. I think it's a little bit more than shady business. With my mind full of such discomforting questions, I eventually drift off, succumb to the pull of weariness. Gentle sunlight awakens me the next morning. I feel unusually refreshed, so much that I can actually hop out of bed with a sense of energy. What madness is this? Usually I always get up with the same excitement as a man heading to the gallows. While best not to look a gift horse in the mouth. I've never heard of that expression, so I have no idea what that means. My stomach wastes no time in grumbling at me for breakfast, so I pull on my clothes and do a bit of grooming before heading out into the hallway. It doesn't take long for my thoughts to flick back into the previous night as I walk along, however. That assassin. I really hope he takes Sabre's threat to heart. If not, well, I best be on my toes regardless. Of course, this is the last day of celebration before our departure tomorrow, so I only have to make it through 24 hours without getting shanked. Not too hard, right? Right? Yeah, sure, just don't get stabbed. When I walk into the main hall, I'm greeted with the sight of numerous guests streaming out of the castle gates, presumably heading to the festival. I might as well join them. Even though I strolled past some of the shops the other day, there were a lot more that I hadn't gotten a chance to see. As I turned to head down the stairs...
Rivian, planning on catching the games today?
Hey, what's up, Kiran? Nice abs. Okay, a cheerful voice calls out to me, and I turn to see Kiran striding up, waving a hand. Hello. The games. Right. I'm not sure if I could stomach all that excitement again. To be honest, I might faint. I chuckle playfully, but inwardly acknowledging that's not really a joke. You certainly are a spectacular pansy, Rivian. I do plan to head out to the festival for a little while, though. Maybe I'll swing by, assuming one of you hasn't chopped off the other's head by then.
You certainly should. I'm sure Sabre would appreciate you cheering him on. Boost his morale, you know?
Oh, so he knows. He probably told him the guy made out with that pretty boy in the closet the other day. He winks at me, his lips spreading into an impish grin. Oh dear gods, does he know? Well, yes, I think he'd be fine without me. There is definitely nothing innocent about the look Kiran's wearing. In fact, it rivals one that Sabre's faced yesterday.
He was in quite an energetic mood this morning. Wonder what's got him so fired up. It could be the duel, but I had a feeling it was something else.
It's not me! I hesitate for a moment. Does Kiran know about Sabre's fake persona? I wonder. They're obviously very close, to the point where they almost seem like more than friends. Kiran, do you mind if I ask you something about you and Sabre? In response to my tentative question, Kiran nods, arching an eyebrow inquisitively. Are you together? I just had a feeling yesterday that beyond all that rivalry, you're quite intimate with each other. Well, there was no way to phrase it delicately, but I probably mentioned you in the most awkward fashion known to man. Yes, that's so awkward. As soon as I trail off, Kiran stares at me in utter disbelief.
Wait, you thought we were a couple just because of us getting into our sparring?
I mean, when he puts it like that, I guess it does sound a bit silly. I guess that's a no.
Oh, Rivian. Oh, I can see why he likes you, really.
After recovering from a fit of laughter, Kiran shakes his head. Well, excuse me for misinterpreting things.
You're blushing too. So cute. It's too bad I didn't get to you first.
Oh my god! He offers me a broad teasing smirk after exhaling a faint sigh of disappointment. Get to me? I haven't the faintest clue what you're talking about. No one's gone to me. I haven't been gotten.
Right, yes, naturally. Well, if you'll pardon me, I'm going to head out to the arena to start practicing.
Rivian's so adorable.
Don't forget to stop by. If you wanted to cheer for me instead of Sabre, I wouldn't protest.
Wiggling his finger at me mischievously, Kiran turns to stride towards the castle exit, still chuckling to himself. I'm glad I could still be such a source of entertainment for you, smug bastard. Despite my annoyance, though, it's hard for me to really get angry at him. I can tell that Kiran's a good man. He's just one of those people who carries himself with earnest confidence and kindness. It's strangely refreshing, being around him and Sabre. They don't feel the need to coyly beat around the bush or remain withdrawn, and that straightforwardness feels much more comfortable than the idea of coyly intrigue in games. Yeah, I can understand why, because everyone's, like, you know, mysterious in, like, his line of work, so I get why, like, he enjoys, like, people being upfront with him. But it feels like we live in different worlds. I wonder if one likes there would ever be someone like me, or I'd be ever suited to it. While brooding over things silently to myself, I head out to the castle grounds in the same direction Kiran went. Today is beautiful and warm, and the festival appears to be back in full swing. Vendors stand in every corner, swarmed by various eager guests to see what exotic goods are being offered, and the air is rich with the scent of food, both sweet and savory. Not far in the distance, I spy the large pit of an arena, where a large crowd has gathered. For various reasons, I'm really not in the mood to go spectate right now. I don't even think I can show my face in front of Kiran until my pride recovers a little bit. Ugh. He's gonna go over there anyway, isn't he? I decide to stroll to the opposite direction instead, moving with the flow of the people streaming down the road. Along the way, I start to piece together a thoroughly unhealthy breakfast from the various stalls I pass, munching contentedly on various sweets and fried delicacies. Do I feel guilty about indulging in horrible fattening foods after being flaked by two ridiculously well-muscled good-looking men yesterday, you ask? Not one bit. Some of us aren't suited with a six-pack and bulging biceps. They would ruin my soft boyish charm. As I place it my self-worth, while wandering through the festival, my eyes are drawn to large market stalls that have numerous Orient masks on display. Ah, that's right, the Masquerade is tonight, isn't it? I thought it sounded pretty exciting at first, but now I find my enthusiasm has all but vanished. I'm starting to feel like this is just another game for nobles, a more blatant way to hide their true natures from each other. For a moment, I hesitate, wondering if I should give in and purchase one of the pretty masks. But in the end, I decide against it. I'll go find a better way to use my money, like more of those cakes. As I start to head deeper into the festival, the voice of an excited girl past me suddenly catches my ear.
Oh, Aveline! I can't believe you missed the fight.
Celeste!
It was so tense. One of the poor fighters even got wounded. Poor thing. There was blood everywhere.
Celeste is such a mysterious character. I remember when I was first playing this game, I was like, she's the bad guy, but like, she's very neutral in the end. It's very weird. She's a very weird dynamic about her. I whirl around and try to see the owner of the voice, but the crowd is moving too fast for me to figure out who spoke. Damn it. An apprehensive feeling suddenly churns in my stomach along with the remnants of assorted pastries. It's probably not either of the men I'm thinking of, but still. I grip my teeth together and turn back, struggling against the stream of guests to make my way towards the arena. What did I say? He's gonna end up here anyway. It took a bit of effort, but eventually I end up at the edge of the pit, where a decently sized crowd is still gathered. But it doesn't seem like Sabre or Kiran are currently fighting. I start to search around for them worriedly, cranking my neck to try and catch a glimpse of either man over the sea of leathery hats. While I don't spot them in the crowd, I do notice a few people coming in and out of the small building nearby. They look like duelists and brawlers. Maybe that's the fighters' quarters? I hurry over towards the cabin, ignoring the dubious looks thrown at me by some of the burly participants as I slip inside. There's various fighting equipment and some bedrolls there, so my guess were probably correct. Glancing around intently, I start to explore further into the quarters when...
Rivian! Is that you?
No, I'm a fighter! A husky voice calls out my name, and I spin around to see Sabre sitting on the bedroll, leaning against the wall. Sabre! You're hurt? I rush over and kneel to the floor beside him, biting my lip in worry. It's just as I feared. A bandage wraps around Sabre's side, where the red spot had seeped through the stain of the fabric in dark crimson.
Oh, it's not that bad. I ain't dying. Just won't be sleeping on my left side for a while, that's all.
Okay. His voice is thick with his exaggerated persona once more. I guess there's a lot of other fighters around us. He probably doesn't want to get it out that he's not as bestial and unrefined like he seems.
I shouldn't have bloody gotten it, bro. The blade I was using to fight Kiran. Someone put something on the handle. It started to itch and burn me tongue after a few minutes.
What is it, like a poison? Sabre's voice abruptly lowers, taking on a dark tone as he scowls down into the distance.
Oh, I tried to fight though. But he hit me at a time I should have easily dodged. Poor bastard was more surprised than I was.
From the dry amusement in his words, I could tell that he doesn't think Kiran was the one who just sabotaged him. I don't either. It definitely doesn't seem like something he would do, no matter how immense the rivalry became. It's the guy in the hood, because we didn't kill him, right? So, you don't think it could be that man from the other night? As soon as I mention the assassin, Sabre stiffens noticeably, his lips contorting into a grimace. He turns his head away from me slightly, staring in another direction.
Aye, a message is what it is.
He offers a bitter reply, his fingers curled tightly into fists. If only he had told me how he knew the assassin or why he was coming after both of us. There's a reason why he's being evasive, I'm sure. If that's the case, you shouldn't stay out here after dark. If he has access to your equipment, he might try to do something while you're asleep.
Oh, you're offering to put me up in your room.
Oh, god damn it.
A bit forward, but I've no complaints.
It's just, you know, preferably to you getting skewered in the middle of the night, that's all. Sabre snickers when I mumble in a defensive reply. He reaches out and presses a long finger under my chin, tilting it up slightly.
You're a lot more invested in other people's safety than you ought to be. Especially me own. I don't deserve it.
His voice is soft and gentle, but there's a guilty look in his eyes as he averts them momentarily from my own. The expression puzzles me. Is it because he's so aggressive during our first meeting? Or is it relatively or whatever he's neglecting to tell me?
Well,
Can't believe he hasn't figured it out.
Why don't I come to your room around the time of the masquerade? With all the peacocks stuffed into the ballroom. No one will see me stealing away.
Except, you know, maybe Arden! I quickly nod, relieved that he agreed to my suggestion. I don't mind sleeping in one of the chairs for the night. It's a small price to pay, all things considered. And they're pretty nice chairs. Is there anything I can get you for now? To make you more comfortable? Can't believe this shoddy place and they stuffed you into. Could they really not spare some cots?
Hey, to be honest, it's far from the worst place I've been thrown into. At least they gave us pillows, eh?
Yeah, sure. He chuckles, rolling his eyes with a faint click of his tongue.
Oh, you could get me some water though if you're feeling kind. My throat's a bit hoarse from yelling curses after me side got sliced.
Sabre motions a small water skin laying a few feet away and I reach out to grab it. When I offer it to him, however, he shakes his head and exhales theatrical sigh through his teeth.
But my hands are sore too.
He wants us to do it for him.
The best way for me to drink would be you giving it to me. Some mouth to mouth and all that.
Not like that! I immediately splash the water in his head.
That was worth the look on your face.
He breaks out into a raccoon's gleeful laughter, and I drop the water skin on his lap with a huff. If you're quite finished, then I'll be taking my leave. You better be here tonight at the prompt hour, or I may think twice about letting you in. It's very difficult for me to keep up a firm tone, and I realize I probably sound about as threatening as someone scolding a kitten. Sabre just snickers to himself and nods, watching me with a smug grin. Before my face grows too flushed, I flick him a rude gesture and I take my leave. What do you think? I give him the middle finger? Returning to my sunny warmth outside. Oh my god. The day is starting to wane, so I decide to go back to the castle. I think I'm just about shopped out, and I don't want to fill up on these delicacies and leave myself without room for dinner. The king owes me dinner after all this ordeal, and I fully intend to make good use of this. As I stroll through the hallway to my chambers, I spot someone standing in front of the door. Someone small, with a black and white dress and distinctive pigtails. Hello again, Hazel. I did mention that guarding my door wasn't necessary, right? Especially when I'm not inside.
Oh, Sir Rivian! I was hoping you'd be back soon. I was getting a bit lonely.
Are you okay? She brightens up as soon as I approach, bouncing on her toes energetically.
I wasn't guarding the door, though. I just wanted to talk to you about something.
When her voice suddenly grows grave, I frown in concern. Come to think of it, she did look a little sober yesterday. I mean, it was obviously understandable given her circumstance, but her mood shifted quite quickly. Something serious, is it? Very well. Come in for the moment, then. I step into my room with Hazel, following at my heels, peering around curiously as she tentatively wanders over to the threshold. After I close the door behind us and turn to her expectantly, she takes a deep breath and fixes me with a determined look.
It's about the person who kidnapped me. I wanted to ask you to help them.
Hang on a moment there, Hazel. Can we take a step back? Did you just say you wanted me to help your kidnapper? Yeah, that sounds weird, doesn't it? When she vigorously nods, I stare at her open mouth, completely at a loss.
They're not a bad person, really. I can't say a whole lot, but they told me about themselves, and I felt so sorry for them.
Oh, Hazel's such a sweet girl.
And now that they let me go, I think they might be in danger. But you know them, so you can protect them.
After I recover from the initial shock, I heave a sigh and pinch the bridge of my nose with a thumb and forefinger. Don't you think you're being a bit hasty here, Hazel? They probably let you go because they were afraid they would get caught by the king's men. But why wouldn't you want them to get captured? Hazel shakes her head, wrinkling her nose in frustration.
I wasn't talking about the king's men, Sir Rivian. I think they're in danger from someone else. Some bad people who know a lot of things.
From Hazel's awkward explanation, a part of my mind is starting to piece things together, and the picture forming is so strange that I can barely understand it, but it also makes a twisted sort of sense. Hazel, the one who kidnapped you was Sabre, wasn't it? Oh, he figures it out now. She covers her mouth with one hand, eyes widening like saucers. Well, 1 point for me, I suppose. Although, how is she expecting me to protect him without knowing his name or identity is a little baffling. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone, but... a foolish bastard! What is he doing wrapping himself with people like that? I angrily mutter to myself more than Hazel, shooting a glare out the window. If I'm not mistaken, then the reason why Sabre didn't say anything about Hazel or the disciples was because he was working for them. But if he had changed their heart and decided to release Hazel, then it's only natural that they come after him. You know, I'm actually a little bit shocked that Rivian isn't, like, pissed off or anything. Like, I get, you know, I know Rivian's a nice guy and he's not gonna be like, oh, I hate you forever and whatever, but it's a little bit shocking to me that he's not, like, questioning this, you know what I mean? Does that mean, then, the assassin from yesterday was targeting us because of that?
Sir Rivian, please, don't tell anyone his name. I don't want you or him to get hurt, even though today's the last day.
I'll do my best, Hazel. Sabre's gonna get quite a chewing out tonight, though. I resist the urge to roll up my sleeves and crack my knuckles, since that's probably not the best way to comfort Hazel. Really, though, what on earth is Sabre thinking? Why would he ever do anything so stupid?
Thank you, sir. He's big and strong, but I don't know if he thinks about things enough.
Oh,
he needs someone like you for that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. For some reason, Hazel's heartfelt words bring a faint smile to my face. I guess she's not wrong, per se. The fact that she can feel so much compassion for the man who kidnapped her and probably gave her a fright of her life is, well, remarkable. But I doubt Sabre ever intended any harm to come to her. He probably regretted his actions as soon as he took her away. Hazel, that reminds me, I wanted to ask you, why were you kidnapped? I was puzzling over why a maid's daughter would be... Hazel, where are you going?
Bye, Sir Rivian.
You know what? I think she knows that she's the granddaughter of the king. Oh my god. Before I can manage another word, Hazel abruptly turns to dart over the door, tugging it open. Wait, I wasn't finished! Come back! My cry, however, is only met by a slamming door as Hazel races out into the hall. Well, I guess I unknowingly treaded into forbidden territory. She really took off with the speed of lightning. I suppose she must have figured out she already told too much. Exhaling a heavy sigh, I decided to spend the rest of the time before dinner tidying up my room. I am having a guest after all, so I should probably make the bed and clean up various messes of hair ornaments I have laid out all over my dresser. The servant neglected to do any housekeeping here, it seems, or maybe it was Emily's duty as she was too distressed about Hazel to remember? I'm fairly distressed myself, considering all these new revelations. What a whirlwind the past few days have been. Thank the gods it's over tomorrow. Although, doesn't that mean, well, am I never going to see Sabre again? He's not really from a noble family, so I couldn't really explain to my parents about him visiting. For that matter, I don't even know if he would want to visit me, or me to visit him. His life must be hard, full of travel, and so it would be probably next to impossible. I guess maybe that's for the best? We live in different worlds entirely, and I doubt I would last very long in his. I really am the same as those peacocks as he makes fun of, maybe with less plumage, but ultimately the same bird. Best suited to strutting around and looking pretty, even though all those bright features are just illusions. I sink into gloomy thoughts for a while longer, brooding quietly over dinner. After a remarkable tasty meal, I start to stroll back towards my chambers. The tastiness was somewhat soured by the company I was forced to have, however. Somehow, my horrible Aunt Valora, who was attending the party for whatever reason, managed to find me and attack me with her presence. Well, she really just sat down next to me and blabbed anyway the whole time about my father, but it felt like I was being attacked. And it's quite disgusting to hear her go on about father. She is far, far too interested in beyond what a sister-in-law should be. Oh god. Still, the wine and the cakes did compensate somewhat, so my mood is entirely ruined as I saunter through the corridors. It won't be too long before the masquerade starts. People are already heading out to change and get their masks by the time I left the dining hall. That means Sabre should be showing up soon. Hopefully. Ugh. Should I brought him some cake or something? Would that seem condescending? I don't want to have to act like he's some exotic pet I'm giving treats to. Although, now that I think about it, he's probably enjoyed that. Well. I slip back into my room along with a tired exhale. After a moment to pause, I wander over the balcony entrance to step outside, enjoying the cool night breeze on my face. It's hard to believe that a few nights ago, I got accosted by Franz out here. I guess that was when the madness began. He was startlingly accurate in his prediction. I never did figure out how he knew all of that, though. For every question I got, 10 more questions pop up. I suppose some mysteries will have to remain unsolved. What a poetic thought. This place is really getting to me. Coming! When a knock comes at the door, I smooth out my clothes and hurry back into my room. Take a deep breath and grab the doorknob, putting my best look of confidence and preparing to give Sabre a thoroughly interrogation. What? Oh, okay, we're dead. Ow! My head feels like I just got hit by a sledgehammer. Is this a hangover or something? Ugh. What is this? We just get kidnapped. When my eyes struggle to open, however, I'm not greeted by the sight of my pillow. Instead, I'm in some kind of big chamber. A heavy, dusty scent weighs in the air, clogging my senses, and the sound of flickering candles echoes from nearby. What on earth is this? It looks almost like some sort of chapel? Am I even on castle grounds? As my heart starts to pound, I try to push myself up, only to realize that my hands and feet are bound. Ugh. And beyond that, foul-tasting cloth has been stuffed into my mouth. Great!
Quiet.
What the fuck? A sharp whisper comes from behind me, making me jump out of my skin. That's the assassin! The one who tried to kill me!
Where is he? You said he'd come down here the second he realised this one was missing.
A second voice comes from the other side. Oh. I shoot a glance over towards it, only to see a fully armored figure standing there. He looks like a guard, but why would a guard be holding me here? The assassin shrugs, twirling his sword in one hand.
Soon.
After receiving a monosyllabic reply, the guard snort, gripping his sword hanging from his own belt. These two must be the ages of disciples. Bloody hell, I should have known to ask who was there before opening the door. Stupid Rivian! But he was kind of drunk, wasn't he? I know I can't do anything in my binds like this, so I force myself to sit still and wait. The assassin stays close to me, probably all too eager to drive his blade through one of my limbs if I try anything. The tense, uncomfortable silence continues for several minutes that feels like an eternity on their own, and my mind races with all the horrible possibilities in store for me. Just as I feel like I'm about to rupture from anxiety, the door finally opens. I try to desperately call out to Sabre.
Rivian! What? You. I should have known!
Dun dun dun! After rushing forward, Sabre stops abruptly, hissing out to one of the assassins with a hateful glare. However, it's the guard who steps up, letting out a low laugh beneath his helmet.
Yes, you should have known when you made the idiotic choice to free that girl. It was the best opportunity we had, and you betrayed us. It seems all your passionate hatred for the crown was nothing more than an act. Just like your fighting persona. How pitiful.
Yikes. Sabre grinds his teeth together, seething with so much visible anger that it makes my blood run cold. I hold my breath, fighting the urge to close my eyes. He really was working with them. If things had only gone a little differently, then he might have...
It seems you've been associating a lot with this little brat. The son of Varrison, isn't he? Revolting. But since you seem to care for him so much, how about we give you a choice? Throw away your weapon, and we untie the boy to let him walk out. You stay behind.
So what, you can kill him?
You worthless scum!
He growls deep in his throat, but I can see the agony in his expression as his eyes shift from the guard towards me. For a moment, I feel frozen, unable to do anything except stare back at him in wide-eyed fear. I think we have to tell him no. I think, that's like every route. Like, they always have an offer, like, pick me instead of Rivian. But obviously Rivian's supposed to say no, so I'm pretty sure you're supposed to shake your head here. By the second I recover my senses, I vehemently shake my head. There's no way I'd be able to walk out like that, knowing I was leaving him behind to die. I didn't think I could willingly sacrifice another life to save my own, even if it was someone I didn't know at all. After what feels like a painful eternity, Sabre suddenly throws his sword to one side. Oh, what the hell? Shit. No, this can't be happening. But even as I frantically panic in my head, I feel my blinds slipping loose, and the assassins reach up to pull my gag from my mouth. Ugh. He pushes me forward, and I stumble towards Sabre. When I come to stop in front of him, he looks down at me, his eyebrows knitting darkly together. He leans down, cupping my face with both hands, staring into my eyes. I gaze back at him with a lump forming in my throat and my vision growing blurry with moisture. Then Sabre brings his lips close to my ear, brushing them against it softly.
Rivian, I'm sorry.
Don't say that, you fool! You don't have to be sorry for Hazel or me or anything! I choke back my tears as I grip his coat.
No, I'm not sorry for that.
For what then? What? Swallowing hard, I glance up at Sabre with a sorrowful confusion. And the look I see in his eyes makes every muscle in my body tense up.
I'm sorry for this!
What? Ah! Just like that, Sabre picks me up, and suddenly throws me to the side, forward like a paper airplane. What? Alright, we got tossed to the side, that's cool. Alright guys, I'm gonna stop this episode here. I'm a little bit confused why he just decided to throw us. He could have just, shoved us to the side, but whatever, it just got thrown across the room, it's fine. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this episode of Chest of Blades, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell button. I feel like I have to say that now because, or else you won't get notifications when I get new videos up and stuff like that. Anyway, please let me know in the comments what you guys thought. Like I said earlier, very surprised that Rivian is taking this well. Surprised that he's not, angry about this. And I'm also surprised that he's very emotional about Sabre. That's just me. Very surprising characteristics of Rivian compared to, the other guys in the other routes. Really didn't see him being I really didn't think he was going to be like this with Sabre. So it's a little bit shocking. But I still don't know how I feel about it, you know what I mean? If you guys want to support the channel, check out the link in the description for Patreon, and also if you would like to support the channel for free, check out gawkbox.com/agirlandagame, and if you guys use that stuff, it will help me continue the channel and continue the series. So yeah, I guess I'll just see you guys in the next video. Bye! After watching God of War: The Lost Pages of Norse Myth, a lot of people, including myself, started to think that Faye was actually Freya, in disguise. Her mission was to protect ties to the main characters. These powerful beasts are known as summons. They are extraordinary beings that can be called into battle by their summoner. They are also depicted as